Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much for joining Sravanam Saturday class. And today is also the last day of the year, so we are gonna hopefully reflect on the year, how it went, and hopefully today's verses will help with that as well. So this is our regular Sravanam Saturday classes, which happens every Saturday, where we systematically study Srimad Bhagavatam. And today we are gonna study first canto, 16th chapter, text 10 to 12, which is also the theme is that Pariksit conquers all directions. So let's start with prayers. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Dhirai Nashtaprayasho Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Okay, so please let me know if the audio is coming okay, because this is the first time I'm trying like this in this setup. So today we are gonna read from Veda base. Let's see. So this is the 10th text of 16th chapter, which is also how Pariksit received the age of Kali. So far we have seen that Krishna left this material world, and Maharaj Yudhishthir, he started seeing all the bad omens, all the inauspiciousness, and then slowly all the Pandavas, they retired from their worldly duties, and now Pariksit Maharaj became the king, and he was and then the Kali, age of Kali, which is the Kali Yuga, infiltrated the kingdom, and Pariksit Maharaj did not kill Kali, but he instead received Kali. Here it says, or he did fight Kali, but he did not kill Kali, and that was the question raised here in this chapter, that yes, why did Maharaj Pariksit simply punish him, since he was the lowest of the Shudra, the Kali? So this Sonaka Rishi's question was asked in this chapter, and we will, the following text and the text that we are going to study today is going to tell us that why he did that, and then what he did once he heard the news of Kali entering his kingdom. So Text 10. Suta Uvacha Yada Parikshitu Jangle Vasat Kalim Par Pravishtam Nija Chakravartite Nishanya Vartam Antipriyam Tata Shanam Samyuga Sundarim Abade. Suta Uvacha. Suta Goswami said, Yada, when Pariksit, Maharaj Pariksit, Kuru Jangale, in the capital of Kuru's empire, Avasat was residing, Kalim, the symptoms of age of Kali, Pravishtam, entered, Nija Chakravartite, within his jurisdiction, Nishamya, thus hearing, Vartam, news, Antipriyam, not very palatable, Tata, thereafter, Sharasanam, arrows and bows, Samyuga, having gotten a chance for, Shundihi, martial activities, Adade, took up. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Suta Goswami said, while Maharaj Pariksit was residing in the capital of Kuru Empire, the symptoms of the age of Kali began to infiltrate within the jurisdiction of his state. When he learned about this, he did not think that the matter very palatable. This did, however, give him a chance to fight. He took up his bow and arrows and prepared himself for military activities. So, as soon as Maharaj Pariksit heard that Kali Yuga was entering or infiltrating in his kingdom, his jurisdiction, he got mad. He got mad and he got angry, but at the same time he was very happy that finally he has someone who he can fight with, because King Pariksit was a very brilliant king, and Srila Prabhupada says he was an ideal monarch. So you know what the ideal monarch does? He says Kuru Jangle Vasat. So he is residing not only in the kingdom but also at the same time controlling the entire citizens, his entire kingdom. And we will see in the next few verses that what all kingdoms he used to rule over. So he would not only watch over his citizens and make sure that everybody is abiding by the laws, but at the same time he was also making sure everybody is practicing Krishna consciousness. That is a sign of a real leader, right? And as soon as he saw that there are symptoms of Kali appearing, he instantly started to get ready for the fight, because he knows that this is going to be intense. Symptoms of Kali are no joke. Even Srila Prabhupada, when his disciples would always ask him that, so Prabhupada, you don't have to worry, right? And Prabhupada says, no, age of Kali is so powerful, and in this age of Kali, you can get attacked by Maya, illusory energy of Krishna, at any moment. It doesn't matter who one person, what is their position in spiritual life, material life, doesn't matter. Maybe the menial servant in the temple or a president of the temple. The attack of Maya in Kali Yuga are so strong, and it is also that our conviction, it may be strong, but we always could fall in the traps of this symptoms of Kali Yuga. So yes, it was very important for King Pariksit as a leader, as a king, of the world as a ruler to make sure that the symptoms of Kali stops, or at least it doesn't affect his kingdom while he's the king. So he started preparing for the fight. So purport: the state administration. The state administration of Maharaj Pariksit was so perfect that he was sitting in his capital peacefully. But he got the news that the symptoms of the age of Kali had already infiltrated into the jurisdiction of his state, and he did not like this news. So, like I was saying that he didn't like, but at the same time he also started to preparing for the fight in a good mood, in not in an anger mood. And Prabhupada explained that in the class he gave on this in this verse. So in his class he was sharing that how this is the nature of a Kshatriya. Okay, I am getting this feedback that the audio is not well, so let me fix it. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Is this coming properly? Hare Krishna, Prem Sindhu Guru. Okay. So I will wear this mic. Okay, so going back to the verse. Yes, so in this class that Srila Prabhupada gave on this verse, so Prabhupada was explaining that this is the nature of a Kshatriya, and Kshatra. So, the okay. Okay, I hope the audio is better now. Yeah. Okay, sorry for the technical problems. So yes, when a Kshatriya he sees the harm, so he immediately gets activated. They become ecstatic. And Prabhupada was saying that how in this is the nature of a Kshatriya, that when they see anybody in trouble, or when the citizens, especially the citizens, are in problems, so they are always there to protect them. So they are the protectors, and they get delight in the crisis. So they are basically, they should be the ones who should give the talks on crisis management, because they know how to tackle them in a very in a right way. So Kshatriya doesn't mean that, okay, the one who has the spirit of fighting, but Kshatriya, the real Kshatriya, means the one who has the spirit of fighting, at the same time has the knowledge of Krishna, and Krishna consciousness, one who is practicing Krishna consciousness and at the same time fighting, because that is how, um, and especially in ISKCON, in Bhakti Yoga process, and that's how all the leaders are, they require the leaders to be like that, because they are dealing with all kinds of crisis at every moment, and especially with the management, and managing devotees, and all the projects and programs and events. So it is very important that one knows how to protect the devotees, how to protect the congregation, the community, at the same time knowing that what is the purpose. So yes, Kshatriyas, they take delight in crisis, and Maharaj Parikshit also did the same thing. ready to fight. And it's funny that how Kshatriyas, so every it's very important to know that all the Varnas, they also have the same way of becoming ecstatic or activated, when something comes of their nature. So for example, in Kshatriyas, when they see that there is the praja, the citizens are in trouble, so they become ecstatic, so they are ready to fight. Then for brahmanas, if they see any rituals or any spiritual process or preaching opportunity, they become ecstatic. Then if a Vaishya, they see an opportunity to do some charity work or to make some Lakshmi, they become ecstatic. And for Shudras, whenever they see the opportunity for sense gratification, they become ecstatic. So this is also a very nice way to measure our Varna, that where are we getting ecstatic? Are we getting ecstatic when we see preaching opportunity? Or are we getting ecstatic when we have to protect someone? Or we are getting ecstatic when we try to offer some charity or try to make some profit? Or we are getting ecstatic when we see an opportunity for sense gratification? So this is how Prabhupada explained. And also, it's King Pariksit. Prabhupada was saying he is a Digvijay. Then I was looking into this, the meaning of, and Prabhupada explained also that Digvijay, which is Kuru Jangale Vasat. In the verse it says that he was living very peacefully in the kingdom, but that is not it. He was not just staying in the palace and enjoying his um, the way his life was, but also at the same time he would go around and make sure his citizens are all practicing Krishna consciousness, all are practicing Bhakti Yoga, all are following the instructions of Krishna and Guru. Because even in the Vedic times, there was this concept of gurus and getting trained under their guidance. So that is how it was at that time. And I mean, we have been discussing, how the the times have changed, not just the environment but also the people. And we can see, in those days, the king would make sure everybody is practicing Krishna consciousness, and those who would not practice, they would get punished. And versus now, it's not that same anymore. So now the leaders they don't care. So in fact, the leaders give the license, that how that if someone wants to sell meat, okay, get the license and start selling meat. Or if someone wants to sell liquor, they have to get license and then they can start selling liquor. So government encourages all these things, so which is not according to our Vedic system, and that is why there are so many problems. So let's see more about this in the purport. Prabhupada explains that what are the root causes, what is the root cause of the quarrel in the society, in this purport. So let's continue to read. So what are the symptoms of the age of Kali? They are illicit connection with women, indulgence in meat eating, intoxication, and taking pleasure in gambling. So as we all know, these are also the four regulative principles which one is supposed to avoid if one wants to advance in spiritual life. The age of Kali literally means the age of quarrel, and the above mentioned four symptoms in human society are the root causes for all kinds of quarrel. So there we go. So age of Kali means age of quarrel, and these activities, these symptoms are basically the symptoms in the society which are the root causes of all kinds of quarrel. So it's very interesting that how it's these four things which seems so simple, which is why would they be the root cause of quarrel? And
Yeah. So these are also considered as the four limbs of dharma, right? And we can see that how all these four things they can help us develop some qualities like austerity, cleanliness, truthfulness, and what's the fourth one? So let's see. So illicit connection with the woman. So which is it brings cleanliness. If one avoids that, then yes, mercy, indulgence in meat eating. So it develops. If you avoid eating meat, if you avoid killing, that develops compassion. The mercy for living entities. Intoxication is austerity by keeping our minds clean and also taking pleasure in gambling, which helps. If you avoid that, it helps you become truthful. So when one performs any of these activities, those four qualities, which is the essential um, nature, the quality of just being as a human being. So it helps us develop this. So once those things are lost, so basically there is no human. It's as good as animals, right? If one doesn't follow these, if one continues to perform these activities, these four principles, so they are the root. Because of that, Prabhupada says that they are the root causes for all kinds of quarrel. So Maharaj Pariksit heard that some of the people of the state had already taken to these symptoms, and he wanted to take immediate steps against such causes of unrest. This means that at least up to the regime of Maharaj Pariksit, such symptoms of public life were practically unknown, and as soon as they were slightly detected, he wanted to root them out. So you can imagine that how people were living in a very nice society where its focus is on bhakti, or at least in society is not filled with all this sinful activities. So, and when Kali entered, some people already started taking to it. And imagine in a world where some people are like this, and majority of the people are nice, practicing Krishna consciousness, practicing bhakti, it would be such a opposite of the society which is full of quarrel. So, of course, there were fights happening because there was the whole Mahabharat war, but that is also, it could be said that it's part of the process. And yeah, in this class that I was hearing from Prabhupada on this verse, he was saying that how it's you cannot avoid which is supposed to happen, things which are supposed to happen you cannot avoid, like entering of Kali Yuga. King Parikshit was such a great fighter, nobody could fight him, and that is the reason when he heard that Kali is entering, he got happy and he is ready for the fight because nobody would fight him. He was a great monarch, he was a great leader, he was an excellent king, and also he was a great devotee. So nobody would fight him. So when he got this opportunity, he was ready to fight. So same way he could have killed, he could have, but no, he did not, because this was this is the cycle of time. And Prabhupada says that how in winter, if winter is coming, can anyone stop winter? No, you just have to deal with it. You wear a nice coat, you make sure that you don't get sick, and when if you're going out, you wear all the winter clothes, and then you go out. So you take care of all the things, but it doesn't mean the winter is going to go away. You embrace winter, but at the same time you make sure that there is a protection around it. So like that, yeah. So like that, King Parikshit also did that, and he was ready to take all these symptoms out of the society. The news was not palatable for him, but in a way it was, because Maharaj Parikshit got a chance to fight. There was no need to fight with small states because everyone was peacefully under his subordination. But Kali Yuga miscreants gave his fighting spirit a chance for exhibition. And where do we hear this that a person didn't have anybody to fight, but then to fight he creates the situation so he can fight. Any guesses? Yes, Krishna. So Krishna also in spiritual world in Golok Vrindavan, nobody fights him. Everybody is loving him. Everybody is serving him. But in this material world, he sends his devotees in a way that he can fight them, like Hiranyakashipu, and in that way, and all the demons, Putana and the other demons that he fought. So these are the demons which are also great devotees. They Krishna sends, he arranges so he can exhibit his strength, his power. So here King Parikshit, I mean, of course, here it was not his choice, but now that he has got this opportunity, so he is, of course, it is not palatable to see in his kingdom the citizens are getting affected by the symptoms of Kali, but at the same time, he was happy that um, he has a chance to fight now, finally. Prabhupada says, a perfect Kshatriya king is always jubilant as soon as he gets a chance to fight, just as a sportsman is eager when there is a chance for a sporting match. So, like we discussed, the Kshatriya gets delight, he gets jubilant as soon as he sees the opportunity to fight. And even we also we can see where do we get very passionate, where we get jubilant or very delighted. We should really introspect since this is end of the year and it's time to reflect how was the year and what can we improve. We can see that how did we have fun practicing Krishna consciousness? What are the things we enjoyed the most? Which services we liked the most? Or which services we should have done better? And it's a good good time to reflect and also the good topic to reflect upon. People have all kinds of resolutions next year, you know, losing weight or traveling or whatever. Someone wants to become a great, make a great career, and so many resolutions are there. So, as devotees, we should also have resolutions, and of course, this is not our Vedic New Year, but why not? Every day we can make sure that we are moving in the right direction and reflect on how things are going. Not just keep doing, otherwise it's just gonna be a big plateau. So if you want to advance, we should definitely try to reflect and improve on the services that we are doing. So here, Prabhupada is explaining that how Kshatriyas are jubilant as soon as they get a chance to fight or protect the citizens. So there is no argument. It is no argument that in the age of Kali, such symptoms are predestined. Yes, so nobody can stop it. It's predestined. If so, then why was there preparation for fighting out of such symptoms? Such arguments are offered by lazy and unfortunate men. In the rainy season, rain is predestined, and yet people take precautions to protect themselves. Similarly, in the age of Kali, the symptoms, as above mentioned, are sure to infiltrate into the society, but it is the duty of the state to save the citizens from the association of the agents of the age of Kali. Wow. So this is a very interesting statement by Srila Prabhupada. Of course, so Prabhupada explains that how, one, if Parikshit Maharaj could stop, if Krishna could stop all the problems, he could have stopped. But why he is not stopping? Because no, this is how the material world works. Things are predestined, some things, and the time, the cycle of life is also predestined. Krishna cannot stop, or Krishna won't stop the birth, death, old age, and disease cycle. Why would he? Because this is how he designed so that we can come to our senses and know that this is not where we belong. So he has put this system in place, and this is how it works. So if one questions that why it was Parikshit Maharaj should fight and kill it off. No, but then that is Prabhupada says that these arguments are offered by lazy and unfortunate people, unfortunate men. Lazy, why lazy? We heard in the previous text that lazy human beings with paltry information and a short duration of life passes the night sleeping and the day performing activities that are for naught. So because we have got this human form and that is not supposed to be wasted by things that brings the that helps or that does the sense gratification part of it, but it is meant for inquiring about the absolute truth. It is meant to know our real position. And we have heard this so many times that that is the goal of life, to know who we are, to know who Krishna is, what is our relationship, and how we can awaken that love for Krishna that is dormant in our hearts. So it is very well known, but still there are people who won't take up to that process, or who take up to that process but in a very lightly manner. They don't take it seriously. So Prabhupada, at least in this context, he is saying that okay, those who ask all such questions, that why not let it be, or like they try to run away from the reality. They are nothing but lazy and unfortunate men. So, and he gives the analogy of rainy season, that how rain, nobody can stop the rainy season. So all you can do is take precaution. The intelligent person takes precaution and um, moves on. So same way, in the age of Kali, the symptoms are gonna be infiltrated in the society, and it is the duty of the state. So here Prabhupada is giving that how it's the responsibility of the leaders. And eh, unfortunately nowadays, we don't have any leaders who can help. In fact, they add more to the problem. So they they are not going to help us save anything. So we have to save ourselves. And we have been very fortunate that we have been given this opportunity to study Srimad Bhagavatam, to chant Hare Krishna, and to read Bhagavad Gita and Chaitanya Charitamrita, associate with devotees, go to temples, serve the devotees, help in the preaching movement. So it's a very rare thing, and we should take full advantage of it. So here, Prabhupada continues that Maharaj Parikshit wanted to punish the miscreants indulging in the symptoms of Kali and thus save the innocent citizens who were pure in habit by culture of religion. So this is very interesting. Um, Parikshit Maharaj wanted to punish those who actually fell into the traps of the symptoms of Kali. Actually, one more thing. In the previous line, Prabhupada says that it is a duty of the state to save the citizens from the association of the agents of the age of Kali. So, of course, the age of Kali is the main problem, but then Kali, we say, yeah, we are in Kali Yuga, but then no, Kali also sends the agents, the association of the agents. So that means, the symptoms sometimes you are taught through the different agents of Kali, that, and you might be you know people are there are things around us which are always there to distract us, and they can be considered. So we can just see that Rupa Goswami says that okay, avoid the association of materialistic people. So that means we can say that yes, these are the agents of Kali, so we should not take their association, but you can give your association, as devotees, and you can make them devotees. So very um, interesting that how it's there are agents of Krishna, then there are agents of Kali as well. So and then so Prabhupada here says that first of all, save them, punish the miscreants, and then save the innocent citizens who were pure in habit by culture of religion. What does this mean? Pure in habit by culture of religion. So, it's the culture of religion. First of all, what is the pure in habit, right? It, and how do we get there? How can one become pure in habit? So, pure in habit, which obviously means to following dharma, to following their nature, and to perform their duty nicely in a pure state of mind, pure and in Krishna conscious way. So that is pure in habit. And how can one become pure in habit? By culture of religion. Prabhupada says. Um, so culture of religion, that means that um, religion, there are so many different interpretations of religion, but Prabhupada also says that it's dharma, and dharma also means the varnashram, the following your varna properly in a very honest and in a sincere way. That how that there are, once you follow your dharma, then artha kama moksha and eventually the prema follows. So if one follows that dharma, their nature properly, sincerely, and that is how you can maintain your pure in habit aspect. And in the Vedic times, they used to I was hearing this, that in the Vedic times there used to be dharma shastras, like they would read Manu Samhita and other scriptures which would explain, which would teach people what is their dharma. People would read and they will come to realization that, oh yeah, this is what I should be doing, this is my dharma, this is my nature. So these, I will engage all my skills, my knowledge, my intelligence in this work. And that is how they would. So there are, varnashram, brahmana, kshatriyas, and shudras, and vaishyas are there. And then in that also, then you can see, that Prabhupada explains that how we have given that 100 years, then one practices brahmachari ashram, then grihastha. And in brahmachari, it's like, they were super strict, very, even they would avoid direct eye contacts with women. They would refer each and every, all the female as Mataji's mother. And it's it's there, but even now amongst devotees. But then again, how do we really think of them as mothers, as Matajis? And um, for in the Vedic times, that was so strict, and people would follow that. Um, and so brahmacharis and grihasthas, then one take up to the family life, and then have nice Krishna conscious family, nice Krishna conscious house where they read scriptures, and then they chant Hare Krishna, they do programs. And fortunately, this is very, it's all because of Srila Prabhupada that this practices have now again um, in introduced in the society. And you can see that how devotees, wherever you go, wherever there is ISKCON centers, there will be bhakti vrikshas, there will be devotees, performing, doing all programs in their homes, in other events. And yeah, it's just all glories to Srila Prabhupada for bringing this back in the society. And this is what means that culture of religion, one has to have that culture in order to maintain the pure in habit. And then lastly, Prabhupada says that it is a duty of the king to give such, protection. And Maharaj Pariksit was perfectly right when he prepared himself to fight. And this is why he got ready to fight, to protect his citizens who were still innocent and who were still pure in habit, who were following the culture of religion. Okay, so now we are going to continue. If there are any questions, please comment. I can read your comments so we can address. Okay, if not, we'll continue. Text 11. Swalankritam sayam tarunga yojitam ratham मृगेन्द्रद्विजम् आश्रितापुरात् वृतोरस्थस्व द्विपपतियुक्तया स्वसेनया दिग्विजया निर्गतः. So here again the word Digvijaya has come. So Su Alankritam, very well decorated. Shyama, black. Turanga, horses. Yojitam, tackled. Ratham, chariot. Mrigendra, lion. Dwaja, flagged. Ashrit, Ashrita, under the protection. Purat, from the capital. Vrata, surrounded by. Ratha, charioteers. Ashwa, cavalry. Dvipapati, elephants. Yuktaya, thus being equipped. Swasenaya, along with infantry. Digvijaya, for the purpose of conquering. And Nirgata, went out. So Maharaj Pariksit sat on a chariot drawn by black horses. His flag was marked with the sign of a lion, being so decorated and surrounded by charioteers, cavalry, elephants, and infantry soldiers. He left the capital to conquer in all directions. And this is why our theme today is that Pariksit Maharaj conquers in all direction. How? In his chariot. And so here, let's read Prabhupada's purport. Maharaj Pariksit is distinguished from his grandfather Arjuna. For black horses pulled his chariot instead of white horses. He marked his flag with mark of a lion, and his grandfather marked his with the mark of Hanumanji. So Prabhupada is distinguishing that how there were that Parikshit Maharaj and between Parikshit Maharaj and his grandfather Arjuna, the differences were that Arjuna would have his chariot pulled by white horses versus here Parikshit Maharaj chariot was with black horses, and the flag that was marked with lion for Parikshit Maharaj, and for his grandfather Arjuna it was, we all know, Hanumanji. A royal procession like that of Maharaj Pariksit, surrounded by well-decorated chariots, cavalry, elephants, infantry, and band, not only is pleasing to the eyes, but also is a sign of civilization that is aesthetic even on the fighting front. So, and you can see Parikshit Maharaj has gotten ready to fight the age of Kali, right? And this is how, in the Prabhupada says that this is a sign of civilization. In that, even the fighting, the wars, they are pleasing to watch. So it's said, right, that Madhuradipate Akhilam Madhuram. So it's like everything is so sweet, and here this even the war, it's people are, Prabhupada says it ecstatic, aesthetic, right? So in this nowadays people think of war is people don't even watch even in the news, what to talk of live. But here in the previous times it was just look at this, how well decorated chariots and cavalry, elephants, they are all going as if it's like some, it's like marriage procession. But no, this is for the war. This is for a fight that Parikshit Maharaj is going for. Text 12. Okay. Bhadrasvam Ketumalam cha Bhadratam Chaturankurun Kim Purushadini Varshani Vijitya Jagrahe Balim Bhadra Vasvam Bhadrasva Ketumal Cha also Bharata Cha and Uttaran the northern countries Kurun the kingdom of the Kuru dynasty Kimpurusha Adini a country beyond the northern side of the Himalayas Varsani parts of the earth planet Vijitya conquering Jagrihe exacted and Balim strength. So this verse is basically we are gonna see that the places and the versas that Pariksit Maharaj has conquered. And yes, this is Prabhupada. Now Prabhupada is gonna take us to a guided tour. We have all these audio books and where places you can't go really because either you can't afford or it's very difficult to get the visa for or you don't have time to go to. But then there are these audio tours where they will say that okay now this is the beach area, this is the nice palace area and things like that. And then people get they get transferred at least mentally to that place. So now Prabhupada is gonna give us the guided tour of the different places that King Parikshit has conquered. So the first one he talks about is Bhadrasva. It is a tract of land near Meru Parvat and it extends from Gandha Madana Parvat to the saltwater ocean. There is a description of this Varsha in the Mahabharata, Bhishma Parva 7:14 to 18. The description was narrated by Sanjaya to Dhritarashtra. Maharaj Yudhishthir also conquered this Varsha, and thus the province was included within the jurisdiction of his empire. Maharaj Parikshit was formally declared to be the emperor of all lands ruled by his grandfather, but he had to establish his supremacy while he was out of his capital to to exact tributes from such states. So of course, these are all, they were ruled by in the. It's, again, I'll say that we all know that the kings were not just a king of a country or a state or a continent or a planet. No, they were ruling many different places like beyond this planet, and these are the places that Maharaj Yudhishthir ruled, and then later it came to King Parikshit to rule. Can't imagine that how difficult would that be. It's just so difficult to manage the country, like they have to change the presidents for every 4 years. They have to change the leadership because they are failing or they are just cheating the citizens and they are not doing anything. But here um, these are the standards that the ideal king should have. I mean, they are ruling not just for 4 years, 5 years, they are ruling for their entire lives, and everybody is living in prosperity and in a nice Krishna conscious way. So, the second place that Parikshit Maharaj conquered, here it's Prabhupada is saying, is Ketumal. This earth planet. Now, again, these are all at the earthly realm, it seems. So this Earth planet is divided into seven dvipas by seven oceans, and the central dvipa called Jambu Dvipa is divided into nine varshas or parts by eight huge mountains. So Bharatvarsha is one of the above mentioned nine varshas, and Ketumal is also described as one of the above varshas. It is said that in Ketumal Varsha, Women are the most beautiful. This Varsha was conquered by Arjuna also. A description of this part of the world is available in Mahabharata as well. So, Ketumal is also one of the Varshas along with Bharat Varsha, and um, it is said that Ketumal Varsha, the women are the most beautiful, and it's it is also said that how in heavenly planets the women, men, they are so like beautiful and so attractive that they're not compared to this earthly they cannot be even compared. So, but it's so crazy that our minds, when if we are living in this in this material world, we get attracted to even this the you know lives here, and it is reminding me of the analogy that Prabhupada gives and devotees give very often as well, that how in the pig life you have a pig body and they get attracted to the other pigs, and then they get attracted to such environment also, this like in stool, and they don't like to stay in clean places, they don't like to eat clean things. So it's the you become where you are. So that's another reason why to always be in the association of devotees. So you can also develop because devotees, they are well aware that all these things in this material world, they are nothing compared to what is there in the spiritual world. And we don't want to get entangled here by this temporary illusory beauty of this material world. It's not really it's not gonna give any pleasure. So it is said that this part of the world is situated on the western side of Meru Parvat, and inhabitants of this province used to live up to 10,000 years. Human beings living in this part of the globe are of golden color, and women resemble the angels of heaven. The inhabitants are free from all kinds of disease and grief. So, Bharatvarsha. This part of the world is also one of the 9 Varshas of Jambudvipa. The description of Bharatvarsha is given in Mahabharata. In the center of Jambudvip is Ilavrita Varsha. South of Ilavrita Varsha is Hari Varsha. The description of these Varshas given in Mahabharata as follows. So, Nigaramscha Vanamschaiva Nadescha Vimalodakaha Purushan Deva Kalpamscha Narischa Priyadarshanah Ad Adrishta Purvan Subhagan Sadadrasha Dhananjaya Sadanani cha Shubhrani Naris cha Parasam Nibha. It is mentioned here that the women in both these verses are beautiful, and some of them are equal to the Apsaras or heavenly women. So now this is part of all of this is still material world, and um, you know Pariksit Maharaj or Yudhishthir Maharaj, Pariksit Maharaj, they would rule over all these things and make sure that everybody is, following Krishna consciousness, following instructions of Krishna, and are not even see when Pariksit Maharaj heard that some of the citizens have fallen into the symptoms of Kali Yuga, he went. Now it doesn't matter where the symptoms have taken place. He started his war in his chariot to all different places. Then comes Uttarakuru. According to Vedic geography, the northernmost portion of Jambudvipa is called Uttarakuru Varsha. It is surrounded by the saltwater ocean from 3 sides and divided by Shringavan mountain from the Himalaya Varsha. Then Kim Purusha Varsha. Kim Purush Varsha. So it is stated to be situated north of the Great Himalaya Mountains, which is 80,000 miles in length and height, which covers 16,000 miles in width. So now this is the Himalaya mountain that we are talking about, that has 80,000 miles in length and height, and it covered 16,000 miles in width. So the Himalayas that we see, they are not really, they are maybe the foothills of this Himalaya mountains. But yeah, these parts of the world, sorry about that, these parts of the world were also conquered by Arjuna. The Kim Purushas are descendant of the daughter of Daksha. When Maharaj Yudhishthir performed a horse sacrifice yajna, the inhabitants of these countries were also present to take part in the festivals, and they paid tributes to the emperor. So, very interesting thing here is that if these are if we think about it, these are not that okay, 16-hour flight and you are in that place. These are they are at a very huge distance, but still they would come for all the different festivals, for celebrations, and this can only happen in a very ideal Krishna conscious environment where devotees would take part in celebrating each other's success or festivals, and paying tribute to the emperors and to the leaders, to the kings, or to the devotees. So something very important to learn. We should also be very happy, jubilant, and take part in the festivals or the celebrations of other devotees and other in a congregation, and that is how you grow a congregation, that you happily live with everyone and help each and everyone and help yourself to be advanced in Krishna consciousness. So this part of the world is called Kimpurusha or sometimes the Himalaya province, Himavati. It is stated that Sukadev Goswami was born in these Himalayan provinces, and that he came to Bharatvarsha after crossing the Himalayan countries. So Sukadev Goswami was born in this province in Kimpurusha, and he traveled to Bharatvarsha. And then the conclusion. In other words, Maharaj Pariksit conquered all the world. He conquered all the countries adjoining the seas and oceans in all the directions, namely eastern, western, northern, and southern parts of the world. So, these are all the places that Parikshit Maharaj would rule over, and would you know under his guidance all the citizens would live, and in all these different directions, and that is why he is called an emperor. This is the real definition of a leader, an emperor, or a Maharaja Parikshit, that or Maharaj Yudhishthir, that they not only are ruling these places, but they're making sure that each and every citizen under them are still are not, if they are coming under the clutches of Kali Yuga, they are ready to travel and they are ready to fight, and they are always making sure that each and every one in their city, in their kingdom, they are all following, the regulative principles. They are all following the instructions of, the dharma. They are all following, as we read before, that the pure in habit by the culture of religion. So all of that is maintained, and that is how an emperor, a Maharaj, should be. So we may not be the king, or we may not be the president of the country, but we are still leading some efforts. We have temple congregation members. We have homes. We have at work. We have so many places where we are leading some or the other work. So in that we should make sure that everybody in under whoever is working with us or under us are happily serving Krishna. So these are the verses for today, and now on in future we are gonna see that wherever Parikshit Maharaj went in all different directions, north, east, west, and south, in all different varshas, all those places would become very vibrant, and people would, and why people would be very happily living wherever Parikshit Maharaj went. And it only happens because he would constantly spread the glories of Krishna. He would constantly glorify his forefathers who were also pure devotees. So glorifying Krishna and glorifying pure devotees is guaranteed that will make a place vibrant and full of joy, blissful. We were discussing yesterday, joy in Krishna consciousness. So this is also one of the ways when you glorify Krishna and when you chant Hare Krishna, when you glorify pure devotees, when you take association of devotees, that place becomes vibrant. And that is also the nature of devotees. So now we know Parikshit Maharaj would glorify Krishna and his forefathers, pure devotees, wherever he goes. So he's probably the one started this culture of glorifying devotees. So we should, that is the nature of devotees. They just cannot stop glorifying their, the fellow devotees, and also glorifying Krishna whenever they get the opportunity. And um, so Naim Prabhu has a question. Does this include all continents on Earth? Well, so the Earth, we are thinking Earth as this just this one planet, but earthly planets contains a lot of other planets, and that's what uh, we were discussing today. That all of these different planets in this whole island, they are all considered as earthly planets. Not just this our Earth planet, which has like 7 continents and different countries, but it's even bigger than that. So. Okay, so are there any more questions? You can post it in the comment. Thank you, Prem Sindhu Prabhu. Thank you, Ananta Shesh Prabhu and Sri Radha. Chai. Sorry we could not do this program Naim Prabhu at the temple, otherwise we would have met. I know you were there at the temple, or you will be there in the temple in some time. So, okay. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.